Hello! So, it's time, everybody, to do a little bit of a reaction to the Booker 2024 Longlist. Because, everybody, it is that time of year. Say it along with me. It's Booker season, baby. So we have our list of 13 books, and I'm very happy that James by Percival Everett has made it onto the list. That has been a real highlight, one of my favourite books I have read this year. I was a little bit fearful that it was going to go the way Demon Copperhead did, and it was just going to miss getting added onto the list, but no, it is here, and I'm really happy with that. One notable exclusion, I think, I haven't read this book, but absolutely everybody has been talking about how amazing it is, so I will try and get to it before the end of the year, is Praiseworthy. I know Bob the Bookerer is absolutely gutted that it hasn't made the list, and yeah, it is a big book though, so there's a little part of me that's like, whew. But if it's incredible, who cares how long it is? And also, I really enjoy long books. But there you go. I'm not going to get too deep into things that have been missed off and things that have been included. This is the list. This is the list that we've got. So let's go with it. Before I dive into my reaction to the books that are on the list, I first have to do a little congratulations to Ben Reads Good. Because I challenged Ben, I said that my picking books at random, and if you haven't seen that video, I'll leave it linked in the description box. I said that I reckon just a random wheel picker online would get me more books on the long list than Ben's spreadsheets and the system that Ben put into place. And it turns out, as I thought when I looked at the list that I randomly produced, turns out no, Ben's got it down, everybody. Ben got 3 books onto the shortlist, I believe. So Ben, you are the winner. I owe you 3 pints, mate. 3 pints. So the next time you're banging about the south of England, Brighton area, you give me a ring and I owe you 3 pints. Or maybe a very expensive cocktail. You decide. But either way, well done, Ben. Good work. So I have decided to do something a little bit different with my reaction. What I've decided to do is, with this Booker long list, I'm going to play a game against myself. So what I'm going to do is I am going to rank, with a little kind of tier list, all the books on the long list from my impression of the blurb and just kind of like what I know about the authors and things like that. So I'm just going to do a little, so we're going to jump down into the sort of the tier list and I'm going to go through it. I'm not going to give you the full blurb because that will last forever. So I'm just going to give you bits and pieces. So sorry if the edits are all over the shop. And yeah, and I'm just going to see if by the time I finish reading the entire long list, if my initial opinion of these books was correct or if they were totally different, and how different this list I'm about to put together now looks from what I end up with. I just thought that would be something fun to do, so feel free to go on that journey with me. So before this video becomes way too long, much longer than it needs to be, I'm just going to shut up there and we are going to jump down to it and go through it. Okay, here we go. Let's get this underway. So first off, we are going to have Enlightenment by Sarah Perry. Enlightenment. So what does it have to say? A dazzling new work of literary fiction from the author of The Essex Serpent. Okay, so a thrilling, ambitious novel of friendship, faith, and unrequited love. Rich in symmetry and symbolism, Enlightenment is a shimmering wonder of a book and Sarah Perry's finest work to date. Okay, so I think, based upon that, I'm gonna go, I think that's gonna be alright. Honestly, I don't think it's necessarily going to be my cup of tea. I think it's going to be all right. We'll put it there for now. Let's see. Next up is Wandering Stars, the eagerly awaited follow-up to the Pulitzer Prize finalist Tommy Orange's breakout bestseller, There, There. I haven't read There, There. I'm not going to read There, There, I don't think. I just don't have the time. So we're just going to have to see how this book works from me just reading the sequel, or is it a prequel? I don't know. Extending his constellation of narratives into the past and future. Okay, so I imagine it's going to go back before events of the first book and then into the future after the events of the first book. Tommy Orange once again delivers a story that is by turns shattering and wondrous. A book piercing in its poetry, sorrow and rage. It's a masterful follow-up to his already classic first novel, a devastating indictment of America's war on its own people. Oh, sounds decent. I think that's going to be good. Boom. It's going to be good. I think it might not get any higher than that just because I'm not going to read the first, I don't think. So, yeah, because, I mean, literally all I've got space for in my life from now until the shortlist is announced, reading-wise, would be doing this long list, and even that is a push with stuff I've got coming up. So yeah, can't be adding in any extra books into the mix, except maybe one I've already started. Anyway, moving on to the next book. Next up, we have Orbital by Samantha Harvey, a slender novel of epic power. Orbital deftly snapshots one day in the lives of 6 women and men hurtling through space. There you go. It's profound and gorgeous. Orbital is an eloquent meditation on space and a moving elegy to our humanity, environment, and planet. Oh, a little book of wonder right there, everybody. I think I'm going to find that. I reckon that's going to be very good. I reckon I'm going to enjoy it. Okay, I'm putting that in a very good category. Next up is Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle, an electrifying debut novel from an unusually gifted writer about the radical intimacy of physical competition. Okay, it's surprising and strikingly original. Headshot is a portrait of the desire, envy, perfectionism, madness, and sheer physical pleasure that motivates young women to fight, even and perhaps especially when no one else is watching. Okay, now literally just before I sat down to record this, Ben from Ben Reads Good said he reckons I'm really going to enjoy Headshot. I do like the sound of it, so do you know what? I reckon I might find it excellent. I'm going to put it in the excellent category. Might be the very good, we'll see. Boxing has never really been my bag. Rocky films are about as far as I go. Rocky 4 hitting the absolute pinnacle of what Rocky can bring to the table. Many of you might say Rocky 1's the OG. Some might even say Rocky 2. Come on now, Ivan Drago. Rocky 4 is the only way to go. Next up is this strange, eventful history, which I have dubbed this very normal and very uneventful history. I hated this book. Hated it. I believe the catchphrase I came up with in my review is, if you find the events in this novel interesting, you need to get out more. And I stand by that. I just thought it was awful. It's gonna go, bam, in the old awful box. It was so boring. It is a novel that was full of potential. Go watch my review. It was absolutely packed with potential and chose to tell a story about all of the stuff I just didn't give a shit about. And yeah, if you're like, I thought it was really good, I thought I really liked what it was doing, you're wrong. Next up, we have My Friends by Hisham Marta, okay, from the Pulitzer Prize-winning author of The Return, a luminous novel of friendship, family, and the unthinkable realities of exile. A devastating meditation, another meditation, a devastating meditation on friendship and family, and the ways in which time tests and frays these bonds. My Friends is an achingly beautiful work of literature by an author at the peak of his powers. I really like the sound of this one. I think this sounds really interesting. I've always been interested, as I get older, in novels deal with like friendships and time and distance, and what that does to a friendship, and the things that sort of stay the same and the things that don't. I think I'm going to really, really like this one, so I'm going to go pa-pow in the excellent box. I think I'm going to dig it. Next up is Creation Lake by Rachel Kushner. Now, I have read 2 of Rachel Kushner's previous books and really enjoyed them, so I'm actually quite excited about this one. From Rachel Kushner, a Booker Prize finalist, 2-time National Book Award finalist, and one of the most gifted authors of her generation. Whoa. Comes a new novel about a seductive and cunning American woman who infiltrates an anarchist collective in France. A propulsive page-turner of glittering insights and dark humour. This sounds like my cup of tea. Oh, my cup of tea. Yum, yum. So I'm gonna go Creation Lake. Ho, ho. Bam. You're going in the excellent. Woo! Next up is Playground by Richard Powers, which isn't released. Oh, a bit like Creation Lake, which both of those novels are not released until September, which is a bit of a shame. But Playground, Richard Powers. 4 lives are drawn together in a sweeping panoramic new novel from Richard Powers. Set in the world's largest ocean, this awe-filled book explores that last wild place we have yet to colonize in a still unfolding oceanic game, and interweaves beautiful writing, rich characterization, profound themes and technology and the environment, and a deep exploration of our shared humanity in a way that only Richard Powers can. Woo! I like Richard Powers. Like his writing. Normally takes me a little bit of a while to get into his stuff, but it's always beautifully written, and I always think the way that he weaves sort of like environmental concerns into his writing, which is also deeply human at the same time as well, I think is always like excellently done, and his research is always top notch. So I'm gonna go. Do you know what? Whoa! I'm gonna think. Boom! I'm gonna put it in the excellent. The excellence category is getting filled up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Next up is James. I have a review for James, just like this strange, eventful, boring, absolute awful book. I've got a review for that, which will be linked in the description box. I also reviewed James as well, and I thought James was... I really enjoyed James. I thought it was... Did I think it was outstanding? I can't remember. I can't even remember a review. Thinking about James now, I think James is excellent. Okay, I really, really loved it. I love it. Do you know what? No, boom, I'm gonna do it. Why not? I don't think it's outstanding, but I think it's a novel I still think about. I really enjoyed what Percival Everett was doing. No, it's not outstanding. It's not outstanding. It's going back in excellent. It's an excellent book. Probably at the top end of excellent, but yeah, I'm gonna put that there. Next up is Stoneyard Devotional by Charlotte Wood, a deeply moving novel about forgiveness, grief, and what it means to be good, from the award-winning author of The Natural Way of Things and The Weekend. A meditative... another meditation-y type one. A lot of meditation going on this long list. It's all about that meditation, people. A meditative and deeply moving novel from one of Australia's most acclaimed and beloved writers. Okay, there you go. A woman abandons her life in the city and marriage to return to the place of her childhood, holding up in a small religious community hidden away on the stark plains of Monterey. Okay, right, well, I don't know, this doesn't sound like I'm gonna give a shit. But, however, it's set in Australia, and all the novels I've read recently that have been written by Australian authors and set in Australia, I've really, really enjoyed. Do you know what? I think it's gonna be good. Boom. I'm going to go in good. Next up, we have Held by Anne Michaels, a breathtaking and mysterious new novel from the beloved Anne Michaels, internationally best-selling author of Fugitive Pieces and The Winter Vault. The narrative spans 4 generations, moments of connection and consequence igniting and reigniting as the century unfolds. In luminous moments of desire, comprehension, longing, and transcendence, the sparks fly upwards. Working their transformation decades later, this resonance through time, not only actions but also of feelings and perceptions, desire in its many forms, at the heart of this novel's profound investigation. This, I think, is the only novel on the long list where I just have absolutely no idea where to put it. There's parts of me that, again, playing around with time, sort of like Strange Eventual History was. I think it's doing a similar thing in which it's going through these different moments throughout time and finding those connections, but I think it's going to do it in a much more exciting and less boring way than Boring History. So I'm going to go, I think I might find it very good. Possibly. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Next up is Wild Houses by Colin Barrett, a darkly funny and deeply moving debut novel about crimes of desperation, dreams abandoned, and small town secrets that won't stay buried. What is it with small towns and all these secrets that they keep? Big towns can get on fine. Big towns don't have these secrets. It's always the small towns. Okay, I don't think I'm going to like this one. I think I'm going to find it all right. I think I'm a bit over small town holding secrets, all that kind of stuff. I think I'm a bit done with it. I'm looking for books that tackle things a little bit bigger and wider. But yeah, I think it's going to be all right. Cool. And last but no means least, we have The Safekeep by Eyal van der Wooden. An exhilarating, twisting tale of desire, suspicion, and obsession between 2 women staying in the same house in the Dutch countryside during the summer of 1961. A powerful exploration of the legacy of World War II and the darker parts of our collective past. Mysterious, sophisticated, sensual, and infused with intrigue, atmosphere, and sex. Whoa, it's got everything. The Safekeep is a brilliantly plotted and provocative debut novel you won't soon forget. You're not soon going to forget it. Okay, where am I putting it? I don't know. That sounds really boring to me. That sounds a bit boring. I'm going to go with, I think I'm going to find that good. Okay, there you go. That's all of them. So here we go. So in essence, from my initial impression of just reading a bit of the blurb, and obviously I have read the full blurb, I've just done a bit of a snippet for you. From reading the blurb and from what I sort of know, I think my shortlist from my initial impression, which I will come back to in September once I've read Playground and Creation Lake, my shortlist at the moment looks like it's going to be Headshot, My Friends, Creation Lake, Playground, James, and Orbital. Okay, and maybe Held. We'll see which one sort of switch that. So that's what it's looking like right now. I am really intrigued as to, how this list is going to shift come September. So there you go, that is my list of what I think will probably, based on this initial reaction, what I think is going to make the 6 books on the shortlist. Again, I will come back to this in September once I've read Richard Powers' book and the Kushner book. Once I've read both of those, because they're released in September, I'll be able to sort of, do this again and see if I still end up with the same sort of 6 books on the shortlist. I don't think I will. Fingers crossed I won't. Hopefully my first impressions are wrong. And I'll be really interested to hear people's thoughts on the rest of the Longlist. So please feel free, if you're watching this video a little bit later on, to comment below on what you're really digging, what you've already read, and okay. There's going to be not many videos from me for a while, actually. I don't think I'm going to be able to do individual reviews of each book this year. Unfortunately, I might have to club them together because I'm going away to Italy at the end of this week. So I have loaded up my Kindle with as many books as possible. I'm not a massive fan of e-readers, but they are handy when you go on holiday on being able to take an entire book or long list with you. So, so I've loaded up my Kindle with everything that's been released, minus the books I've already read. And and I'm just going to smash through it. And then I'm back, but I'm straight into touring with my theatre company, a couple of dates that week. And then the week after that, I'm away again for an entire week, creating a show with 10-year-olds about what it's like being 10. And I'll be doing that at Boing Festival at the Gulbenkian in Canterbury. So that is, and if you're in that area, feel free to come along and see that show and say hi. I just don't know where I'm going to find time to upload videos. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to do what I hate doing and create just one big long video that's going to be really, really boring, but one big long video of my little mini reviews of every single one. That might be what I have to do. But you never know. I might be able to get a few single reviews in there, possibly. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. I hope that wasn't too long and boring for you. Again, if you have read any of these books on the long list, what are your standouts so far? Please let me know in the comments below. I hope you're well. I hope you're enjoying whatever you might be reading, and I'll see you all on the next one.